Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. This is currently my third video today, already in the current process, because there has been lots and lots to talk about regarding the Mourinho situation and Manchester United. And I also did do the Champions League draw, the last 16. Manchester United have got Paris Saint-Germain at Old Trafford, and that's going to be an interesting game. I can't see Manchester United really getting out of that game. As I said, it's going to be interesting to see, Mbappe and Neymar coming up against Smalling and Jones and all that in that leg. But these time to regroup before that and somehow try and get Manchester United composure back. This is our worst start to a season since 1990, and we lead. How many shots did Liverpool have yesterday? 36. That is the first time in a decade, 10 years or so, that we have let 36 shots against us in one Premier League match. As I said, but reportedly now, according to the media, that Mourinho is safe for the imminent future. The board reportedly are backing Mourinho. So reportedly at this moment in time, he is safe as Manchester United manager, despite a really, really bad start to the season. Players underperforming. And also despite the defeat to Liverpool yesterday by 3 goals to 1. But Mourinho had quite a bit to say. Potentially said we couldn't cope with Liverpool's, intensity and all that and physicality. He says Manchester United don't have any physicality. This is what Mourinho said. He says we're lacking that physicality. He mentioned about several injury-prone players as well. But let's be quite honest. You can't just blame it all on Mourinho. People have had a say on the situation. Basically, the board didn't back him during the course of summer because he's missed out on a lot of potential targets since he's come to the club. The board didn't back him during the summer. They withdrew the signings, but they did give Mourinho a new contract until 2020 with the club. I think that was back in January, as I said, and the players are not performing. He's had disputes, with a lot of the top players since he's come, and a lot of people had to say yesterday, as I've mentioned to potentially. We need a change in that team. The team needs to recommend a new man to come in my opinion. We've got to make big changes in the January window, but the question is the board going to back Mourinho during the transfer window? Because we know we have got a lot of potential targets for the January window. Obviously, Mourinho's restarting a lot of potential targets, as we all know, but he did say you can't compare their intensity, Liverpool's, and their physicality. He said they were fast, they were quick on the ball, and he said Man United couldn't cope with that. But as I said, Neville had a say saying, can Man United get the right manager in for the next 3 or 4 years or something like that. And I think, in my own perspective opinion, potentially there's an incredible level of naivety in that team. The structure of the team isn't right, and potentially Man United and all of these players, I think, apart from De Gea, are not playing to their potential level, and that potentially you've got to say is down to the management of Jose Mourinho. Of course, we know he's been a winner in the past. He has won silverware in the past, Mourinho, and he's won titles everywhere he's been, but he isn't doing it at Manchester United. It doesn't suit the strappings of the club, and I think the club's just basically too big for him to handle. Everyone, discusses about his team selection and his current tactics are all wrong. He has spent over £400 million since he has been, on this team on 11 players. We've seen players go as well, but we spent, 700, £800 million, basically since Alex Ferguson retired. This team is not a replica, to what the team did under Alex Ferguson, because this is not Fergie's team. There's still players here from the Fergie era, as we all know, and we know we haven't been aggressive enough in these transfer windows. We haven't been getting as main priority targets, and this squad, there's a lot of money being put into it. It is a good squad on paper, but Mourinho doesn't know his best 11. But the players are not playing to their potential. They are not playing for this manager, as we all currently know, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse until we recommend the change into this club. We do know it's going to cost a lot of money for Manchester United to sack Mourinho if we were to sack him now, or in January or something like that. But reportedly they're still backing Jose Mourinho at the moment. Reportedly he's going to get hundreds of millions of pounds to spend in January, so maybe they're going to see who he can bring in and who he's going to get rid of in the team as well. But I think we need to recommend a new man to come into the job, because he hasn't met the expectation levels at this club. He's lowered the level. He's lowered the level expectations at the club. He's lowering the expectations because he's only won 3 trophies since he's come to the club. Don't forget. And his objective was to get us back competing and challenging for major honours, considering this club's massive historically. And and he hasn't met the expectation levels, as we've said. But obviously he's frustrated with a lack of transfer activity, as Jose Mourinho, of course. But there's no cohesion in the team. We've got midfield, that can't pass a ball, and we can't string 2 or 3 passes together. We can't create clinical chances. And this must be all down to Mourinho if these players are not playing to the potential level, because there's a lot of good players in that team of Manchester United, don't forget, but I just don't think they are gelling correctly. But reportedly, the board are still backing him for the time being. Maybe going to give him a bit of time, to try and address the problems and maybe get some players in January. Reportedly, he's going to get hundreds of millions of pounds spent in January, but I said the problems stemmed from when Alex Ferguson retired, and I think the problems have stemmed, into this club. The issues, there's been issues in the team and the whole club since, Ferguson left, and I think the issues started, when David Moyes, took over. When Ferguson recommended David Moyes, he got two players in, David Moyes. He only lasted 9 months into the job. He never had a good pedigree of managing any big teams. He never managed any big teams, as we all know, and he never, in terms of silverware, never won out as a manager. So he didn't last long. We got Van Gaal in. Didn't work out under Van Gaal, as I said, but he had a good philosophy with Bayern Munich. He got some players in. Didn't work out, as we all know. So potentially now we've got Mourinho in. It isn't working out, and this is the worst season I've known Manchester United have for years. This is the worst start to a season since 1990, with 19 points behind Liverpool. Behind top four, with 11 points behind top four. Mourinho discussed quite a few weeks ago, we should be, he wants top four by the end of the year. He still thinks we can get top four, does Jose Mourinho. I don't know how, because obviously teams above us are not going to drop many points, as we all currently know. But the structure of the team isn't right, and I think we need to recommend a change, to try and get a new manager to get us up there again, playing the football we should be, and get us back competing up there for silverware. And we need a new manager to come in and address the problems at the club. But like Alan Shearer said, it's either a clear out or we recommend a new manager to come into the club as well. Or we recommend a new manager to come in the club as well. We know there's been rumours of Pochettino coming in. We know there's been rumours of Zinedine Zidane. Pochettino, he's been in the Premier League 7 years. He's only spent £50 million at Tottenham since 2014. But do you think he'd have that winning mentality? He's got, we need a manager who's got great credentials, to take over this job. It is a huge club, still historically. That's had great players over the years and gained success, under Alex Ferguson. So, do you think Pochettino would be interested? Potentially if we did get some signs in January and, Jose Mourinho was still here, which I think he will be, then potentially do you think Pochettino would come in? If we did get a couple of decent signings in the January transfer window, do you think he'd be interested in coming in? Because obviously our squad at the moment is a total shambles, as we all currently know. So do you think he would? Pochettino's well proven in the Premier League in terms of silverware, has never won out as a manager, Pochettino, but reportedly he's got a 5-year deal with Tottenham. It would cost Man United in the region of £40 million at the end of the season, because obviously he's got a 5-year deal as Pochettino, and plus obviously if we don't get top four by the end of the season, it's still going to cost us money to sack Mourinho, but it won't cost us as much reportedly. But Pochettino's name has been mentioned. He's got a good bunch of players in that Tottenham squad as Pochettino, so there has been rumours of him coming to United, as we said, but I think he's happy at Tottenham. He's focusing on the Tottenham team. As I said, I still think he needs to spend a bit more money. He's got to get a couple of players in this upcoming January transfer window. But as I said, referring to yesterday's game, Manchester United did not turn up. We got totally outclassed by Liverpool. They're, to be fair, they're a great side now. They've invested in the last couple of years with Jurgen Klopp. They've got a good fan base. Manchester United have got a great fan base and we'll still stick by the team, whatever. But Liverpool have got a good fan base, 50-odd thousand fans now in that stadium. They've extended the stadium a little bit. They've got a great manager. Huge, they've got great talented players of Liverpool, and Klopp has invested in the last couple of years, but now they're sitting top. They've never won the Premier League. That is their aim this season, to win the Premier League. Is Liverpool's, and they've got great players. Shaqiri made the difference yesterday. He was the one that won Liverpool the game, but they had 36 shots. I think Manchester United had 6, and we was all over the place on the pitch. Couldn't string 2 or 3 passes together. But Liverpool were just fast on the ball. They were very quick. The movement was absolutely fantastic. How many times they got in our 6-yard box, I lost count. Man United hardly ever didn't compose Liverpool, didn't cause a threat at all to Liverpool. Didn't hardly even get in their 6-yard box, and it was just an absolutely disgraceful performance. And our goal only came against the run of play. As I said, Liverpool's first goal, we should have defended better, because Ashley Young was like 5 yards off Sadio Mane when that ball was played through from Fabinho over the top. But yeah, Liverpool doing very well this season, but we didn't show no heart, no desire, no passion. And that does give me a glimpse of the David Moyes era when we lost to Liverpool, because we showed no heart, no passion, desire in that game in the Old Trafford 3-0 defeat. So I think potentially that was worse yesterday than the 3-0 defeat at Old Trafford, to be quite fair. But we did have, quite a few, we had different players at that point, quite a few different players, as I said. But, it was our fiercest rivals. I know we're in bad form, but we could at least show some passion, showed that we could have, got them on the counter attack and tried to make something happen. We didn't make anything happen at all. And Liverpool just run circles round us, passed the ball well. Very, very tenacity. They were very, very tenacious. They were tenacity. They were very distinctive in their play. And Manchester United just couldn't cope with the amount of pressure that Liverpool were putting on us. And defensively, we need a strong central defender. We need another midfielder, potentially, because there's rumours of Paul Pogba going. And we need a prolific goal scorer as well, because Romelu Lukaku's useless. I know he's Premier League proven, he's Romelu Lukaku, and he's failed to replicate the form that he did in his first season, with 27 goals. But he is not doing it this season. I know he's had a couple of injuries, but he has really been out of form this season. Too slow on the ball, first touch awful, and potentially, yeah, so we do need a prolific striker as well. I know we've had a lot of injury problems this season with defenders and that, and, but that's not excusable. These Manchester United players are on a lot of money. Mourinho spent a lot of money on this team, but it is the players. It's a mixture. It's the board, the owners, the players, and Mourinho. So you can blame it all on them. You can't just blame it all on the manager. Of course, I didn't understand him bringing Fellaini on in the game yesterday. I couldn't understand that, to be quite honest with you. But I can see quite a few players leaving Manchester United, and then obviously we're going to have to see who we can bring in. But I said Jose Mourinho's style of play is not good enough at the club. His managerial style is not good enough at the club as well, because under Fergie, that fear factor there, that confidence was there. We're winning silverware nearly year after year after year. We had great players such as Beckham, Van Nistelrooy, Giggs, Scholes, Carrick, Vidic, Ferdinand, all them great players we had. And potentially with Fergie, the most we'd lose in a season is probably 6 or 7 at the most in a season. Potentially with Fergie, we could go 7-8 games without even dropping any points with Fergie, because obviously the confidence was there in the team. And, the fear factor was just there. But I said as soon as, Ferguson retired from the club, I knew we was going to go downhill, as I said. And, yeah, so that's potentially what happened. But as I said, he admitted that Liverpool were fast. He said Mourinho did admit that Liverpool are better than us. But despite the Liverpool defeat, a lot of United fans want Mourinho out anyway because he's under so much bench pressure. But reportedly, the Man United bosses and the board are sticking by him, for the immediate future. For the time being, they're sticking by Mourinho. So probably they're going to try their hardest to back him in January, see who we can get in the club. He's had discussions with Ed Woodward and George Mendes, his current representative, about what players to get in the January transfer window. There has been rumours of Mourinho leaving. Mendes had totally dispelled him, reportedly saying he's happy at the club. The club are happy with Mourinho, according to George Mendes, and he's fully committed to the club, in my opinion. But, I just want a new manager in who's got great credentials, who's highly experienced, who I think could suit the strappings of this club, and who's got more of an attacking approach about him, who can get Manchester United playing the football the way they should be, making it, try and get us back being consistent and challenging and performing well and scoring goals and stuff like that. And Mourinho is not doing it at Manchester United, as we all currently know, and it's really annoying. We've got soon coming up the FA Cup against Reading in January. Then we've got Champions League, PSG at home. PSG, obviously have played 16 games this season in Liga 1. They haven't lost yet. They've won 14 and drawn 2, and they've got good players. They have, invested a lot of money into that team. Last year they invested a lot of money. Obviously they've got the world's expensive player, Neymar, was it £199 million sterling or something like that? They've got Mbappe. They've got obviously Angel Di Maria, who obviously played for Manchester United. He made an impact, when he first came to United. He started very well, Angel Di Maria. I don't know a lot of their team, but, I know they've got the likes of Mbappe, Neymar, potentially. I think they're going to have too much with Paris Saint-Germain, to be quite honest with you. I can't remember the last time we actually played Paris Saint-Germain, but in the Champions League, I can't believe we even got to the knockouts. We were so lucky. We scored 6 away from home. We scored only 1 goal at home in the group stage, and we lost to Valencia. We're lucky that we beat Young Boys at home. The best game in the group stage we had was Young Boys away from home. The best performance. We didn't perform away at Juventus. I don't know how we won that. Mourinho's changes had won us that game. So we have rode us luck getting to this last 16, but I can't see us progressing any further than the last 16. I'd be very surprised if we do. As I said, I think an English team could win it this season. I think City are capable. They've got a great manager. They've got great players. He's invested a lot of money into that team as Guardiola. And Liverpool could win it. They've got a good European history as well. They've won it 5 times. You know, obviously this is a different Liverpool side now, but they are looking very, very good. The work rate's good. They're very energetic. They've got great players that can create and provide. The link-up play is fantastic, and they're scoring lots and lots of goals. And defensively, they're very, very good as well at Liverpool, because the sign of Virgil van Dijk has turned Liverpool around, as we all know. So I think they've got a great chance. Tottenham, I don't see Tottenham winning it. I think they're a good side. They have got a lot of good players, but I just don't think they're strong enough. They don't have that cutting edge to win the Champions League. I think they need a couple of more signings if they are going to be, you know, title contenders, you know, either this season or in the future. I still think they need a couple of signings in there. Liverpool, Bayern Munich, it's going to be hard to call, because Bayern Munich are a good side as well. You know, they're a very, very strong outfit of Bayern Munich. Yeah, they've got some good players as well. So I think Liverpool, Bayern Munich, it's going to be tie at Anfield, because Liverpool have been very, very good at Anfield this season. That's the best tie out of them all. But we'll see what happens. You know, the Champions League draw's been done now. It's Paris Saint-Germain in the February. The first legs are played between, is it 12th, 13th to the 20th of February. Then the second leg is sometime in March. As I said, they are introducing VAR to the Champions League. Of course, as we all know, they're introducing VAR to the Champions League. And and a total of 275 goals was scored in the group stage of the Champions League in all the groups and all the teams. And, you know, but yeah, reportedly, they're sticking by Jose Mourinho for the time being. So the question is, are they going to back him in the January window of the board? Because they didn't back him last summer. They didn't back Jose Mourinho last summer because they withdrew the signings that he wanted to get in. He missed out on a strong central defender. Obviously, he got Fred, Delort in and Lee Grant. But Fred, for me, Mourinho's confirmed he will be getting more game time when when the team's better balanced and when we're stronger defensively. This is what Mourinho confirmed as well. Let me just have a look at my battery. But yeah, we've got a lot of players coming to end of the deals. As we all know, I think Eric Bailly's out of favour now at Manchester United. Lindelof's just come back from injury. Martial has just come back from injury. As we all know, we've still got Rojo injured, Luke Shaw injured, Alexis Sanchez obviously injured until January. He hasn't made an impact in the team at all, as we all currently know. But Valencia, I think, could leave in January as well, as being talked about that. Paul Pogba, who Mourinho hasn't played since Southampton from the start in the Premier League, didn't impress. He wasn't impressive midweek against Valencia as well. Paul Pogba, there's been talks that Man United want to get rid of him in January, whether it'll be a loan deal or a permanent deal. I think he's likely to go back to Juventus. I think Raiola's keen on trying to get him a move to Spain with Barcelona, but obviously I think it's likely it's going to be Juventus if he is to leave Man United, because that's his ex-club. He had 4 great years with them, don't forget. Obviously he had 4 great years in training with Juventus, and potentially there could be a swap deal involved. It could be Pankajic or Alexandro coming to Manchester United and Pogba going to Juventus as well. I would prefer, obviously, Alexandro. He's a very, very good left-back, as what I told you earlier. Chelsea have been linked with him in the past as well. But I do really like Alexandro for Juventus. Very, very good player. And they do have good players at the Juventus, as we all currently know. But reportedly, there has been talks about that. Pogba's had bad disputes with Jose Mourinho, as we all know. And I think Manchester United and Mourinho have given up on Paul Pogba because he hasn't really established himself in English football. You know, he can have a good game here and there, as we all know. But reportedly, he could be going in the January transfer window. Pogba did say Juventus were willing to offer around £72 million for him. But there could be a swap deal involved with Pogba going back to Juventus, reportedly, as well. But as I said, a few transfer rumours to update. Man United, obviously for January, are linked, with quite a few central defenders. We know that Koulibaly's been mentioned. Toby Alderweireld's been mentioned. Koulibaly, as I said, Man United have been in talks with Napoli of a fee of around £90 million of Man United getting Koulibaly. I think he adapts every area of his game very, very well. Has very, very little weaknesses, and I think he'd dramatically improve us defensively if you put him alongside Bailly or Lindelof. Koulibaly, he's under contract with Napoli to 2023. Man United have had 2 previous bids turned down for him. Ed Woodward has been in discussions with the Napoli officials over this. Reportedly, the Napoli president doesn't want to see him go. Manchester United have obviously got Tuan Zebe on loan, and Tuan Zebe and Fosu Mensah out on loan. So we desperately need a centre-back. And I think Koulibaly, he's highly experienced. What is he, 27, 28 years of age? As I said, and I think, it would cost Man United in the region of £90 million sterling, to persuade Napoli, to sanction him off. His performances for Napoli have been very, very good since 2014. He's grown and developed fantastically well as a player. He's an ex-Genk, he's an ex-Mets player. Napoli only paid £7 million for him from Genk, as we all know. He made his international debut in 2015, and he's gone on to make like 29 appearances in the Senegal team as Koulibaly. But Manchester United have been in heavy discussions with Napoli over this, and he would become the most expensive defender in world football if Man United were to get a deal over the line for him in the January window. But he has been potentially one of our main priority targets as well. He's strong, he's quick, he's good in the air, technically very, very good on the ball as well, and he's very, very physically very, very strong defensively as well. And he's quite tall as well, and he is highly experienced. But it would be good to come and see him experience the English Premier League and play amongst different players. He may become a flop if he comes to the Premier League, but I think he'd be a great signing. Toby Alderweireld's another one. Reportedly, he liked to tweet on social media the other day, potentially, because Man United fans want to see him come to the club. Toby Alderweireld. For me, Toby Alderweireld, I said he has reservations about his game. He's been on the decline for the last 12 months as Toby Alderweireld at Tottenham Hotspur. But for me, Tottenham do have other options there. They've got Davinson Sanchez, they've got Vertonghen there as well. Tottenham wouldn't want to lose Toby Alderweireld. Reportedly, Man United want to get a deal over the line for him done for around £40 million in January. We know he's available for around £25 million next summer. That's his current release clause. There has been no sign of Alderweireld signing a new deal with Tottenham. He's proven well though in the Premier League. Is Toby Alderweireld. But potentially you can't, he doesn't complement the likes of Koulibaly, because Koulibaly is obviously a much better defender. But Toby Alderweireld, I do have reservations about his game. I think he's lost the pace a little bit as Toby Alderweireld quite lately, but he can prove himself to be a world-class central defender. But if Man United are prepared to pay £40 million for him in January, that would maybe persuade Pochettino, to offload the player, raise some money in. And Tottenham do need a couple of signings anywhere, as I currently said. But Toby Alderweireld has been a potential Manchester United target. Man United were in discussion during the course of last summer, but obviously we never got a deal over the line for the player, as we all know. Another potential Manchester United target has been Milan Skriniar. Toby Alderweireld's 29 years of age, and before getting to Milan Skriniar part, Toby Alderweireld's 29, he's nearly 30, and Koulibaly's 27. So obviously if we were to get Koulibaly over, Toby Alderweireld, obviously we'd get longer out of him. He's a better player, he's Koulibaly, as we all know. But Toby Alderweireld's obviously more Premier League proven, because Koulibaly's never played in the Premier League, as we all currently know. But as I said, going on to Milan Skriniar, as I said, Inter Milan paid £20 million for him. He's Slovakian. He's been Inter Milan since 2017 as a player. I think he's got 3 or 4 years left on his deal. I think he's a pretty decent player of what I've watched, what I've seen of him. Obviously, Inter Milan are under financial fair play regulations. Need to sanction some players off to Inter Milan, to invest some money into their club, to Inter Milan, as we all know. But Milan Skriniar, reportedly Man United have been linked to him. He's rated at around £75 million as well, and he's young. So he would grow and develop more if he came to English football, and he'd get a lot of years out of him, because he is only 23 years of age, is Milan Skriniar. Back in 2016, got nominated the best under-21 player for Slovakia as well, Milan Skriniar. But he's been another potential Manchester United target, as we all currently know. Just put my phone on charge, guys. But yeah, Milan Skriniar reportedly has been another potential Manchester United target, as I said. Pereira, he's another player that's coming to an end of his deal as well. He's hardly played this season, Pereira, and he's becoming increasingly frustrated with this. Reportedly, Man United have been in talks of signing a new deal. Reportedly, Man United offered him a contract with a 3-year contract to sum up, but reportedly Pereira had turned this down reportedly as well. So that's not good news. Potentially Sanchez has struggled this season, when he has been match fit. He could potentially still leave the club. He's been here nearly a year now at Old Trafford. Obviously, he's injured now till January. But, he hasn't been good this season. So we do need a striker. We need a backup striker up there as well. But yeah, there is a lot of problems at Manchester United, and reportedly, Jose Mourinho is getting backed at the club reportedly, and reportedly for the immediate future, he's still going to be Manchester United manager, even though a lot of managers want him out. He's still under contract here till 2020. For me, I think we need to try and recommend the right man, to come in for the next 3 or 4 years to succeed. For the next 3 or 4 years, we need to try and recommend the right man to come in with that stature, to try and command us in that position, get the team playing the way they should be. So I think we need to recommend a new man in, but we've got a midfield that needs addressing. Potentially can't pass a ball straight in the midfield. Attackively, we've got a statue up front, Romelu Lukaku, as we all currently know. And I just always smoke my music on this. But according to what Jose Mourinho said, he says we are lacking physicality. This is what Mourinho said, and he's mentioned about several injury-prone players as well as Jose Mourinho. But he still thinks we can finish in the top 4, from his perspective. This is what Mourinho said. But you can tell in that team, there's an incredible level of naivety in that team, and the structure of the team is not right, as we all currently know. So, potentially we go to Cardiff at the weekend. And then we think we've got soon Huddersfield coming up, and then Bournemouth coming up as well. But potentially, my opinion is you can't compare Mourinho to the likes of, you can't compare Mourinho to the likes of Pep Guardiola at Manchester City, Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, Mourinho at Arsenal. There were 22 games undefeated. I know now that's come to an end because they lost yesterday, but that's only one game. But Mourinho has done very, very good since he's come to Arsenal. He went on 22 match unbeaten run. He got 5 players in during the course of the summer, and he's got Arsenal playing very, very well. I still think, even though they lost yesterday, but they have still got a few problems of Arsenal. They still need to strengthen up defensively. Mourinho is weighing up the options for the January transfer window. There's quite a few young players in the Arsenal team who are growing and developing under Mourinho and playing very, very well. To be quite fair, they've got Lacazette and Aubameyang, who are fantastic partnership for Arsenal as well. But they will bounce back from that Southampton defeat. They have got a few injury problems. Rob Holding's out for them now. They've had recently, early on in the season, they've had Mesut Ozil out with a back injury, as I said. So they have had quite a few injury problems. But, obviously Ramsey's guaranteed to leave for them next summer. So too is Danny Welbeck. Well, he's out for this season, but he's guaranteed to leave on a free transfer next summer. But Arsenal do look much better under Mourinho, potentially, because I think Jose Mourinho at Manchester United is becoming a replica of what Arsene Wenger did in his latter stages of his managerial career with Arsenal. I think he's becoming a bit comparable to what Wenger did in the last, in his last 4 or 5 years with Arsenal. That's what I think Mourinho is basically turning into, as I said. But Arsenal look a much better team under Mourinho. I should presume they'll be prepared and they'll bounce back, from that defeat that they had to Southampton. But defensively, they still need to strengthen up a bit, Arsenal. But I think they need a player or two in there. To Arsenal, I think then, there can be potential title contenders, as I said. But Mourinho, good manager, as I said. And Sarri's doing very, very well with Chelsea. Obviously, they beat Brighton yesterday. He's got a good squad. He's still looking to address it more because there's a couple of players that could still leave Chelsea, as I said, as I've updated you on. Reportedly, it looks like Chelsea are going to get a signing. Reportedly Christian Pulisic has been mentioned in the media. Reportedly, Chelsea are their actual favourites to go on now and get Christian Pulisic because reportedly, from the player's perspective, Christian Pulisic does actually want to join Chelsea. Reportedly, the narrative on this. There's a narrative about this because at the beginning of the month, it did actually say Christian Pulisic wanted to join Liverpool because The player's only 20 years of age. He needs to grow and develop more. He's proven himself very, very well, with Borussia Dortmund in Germany. So it would be good to come and see him experience the Premier League and see how he fits in Chelsea's team. But reportedly, I think he'd be a great, great signing for Sarri because he is only 20 years of age, and I think he'll progress very, very well under the management of Sarri at Chelsea. We know Chelsea have had a lot of managers sacked, in recent seasons in a short period of time. Obviously, Jose Mourinho was one of them. But yeah, Christian Pulisic, I thought he'd prefer to go to Liverpool because obviously he's got a good relationship with Jurgen Klopp. Klopp admires the player. Liverpool have been chasing him as well, and obviously he's American. The Liverpool owners, FSG, are American, as we all know. But reportedly, Borussia Dortmund, the director of Borussia Dortmund, did confirm they're not willing to do any business in January. So it has confirmed they're not willing to officially sign him off in January. They want to keep him until the end of the season. But reportedly, a fee has not been agreed between Chelsea and Dortmund. Chelsea have been in talks with Borussia Dortmund over this. Reportedly been in talks with Borussia Dortmund over this. And reportedly the fee, I think Borussia Dortmund are recommending the one is around 50-60 million pound for the player. So Chelsea are going to try and agree a fee for him in January, agree the fee in January, and then officially sign him next summer, and he goes to Stamford Bridge next summer. Christian Pulisic, a good player, only 20 years of age. He's been playing in the senior team with Borussia Dortmund since 2016. He only played 15 times in the youth academy for Borussia Dortmund. Did Christian Pulisic, as we all know, can play as attacking mid, can play out wide as well, and I think he'd complement the Premier League fantastically well with Christian Pulisic, as I said. But obviously, it's unlikely he's going to get that reunion with Jurgen Klopp because potentially, according to reports in the Daily Mail and the Metro, that he does want to join Chelsea. Does Christian Pulisic? He's under contract with Dortmund, with Borussia Dortmund until 2020. Borussia Dortmund have been in talks of trying to secure him a new deal. There has been no signs of him securing a new deal with Borussia Dortmund, as I said. So yeah, it looks likely that he will go to Stamford Bridge because Chelsea have been in heavy negotiations with Borussia Dortmund over this. But Liverpool have been keen on the player. It's mentioned Manchester United have had an interest, but it's not one of Manchester United's main priority targets, as we all currently know. But yeah, it looks like obviously Eden Hazard's future is uncertain at Chelsea because he could leave Chelsea next summer. Morata's future is uncertain at Chelsea. He's recently picked an injury up midweek as well. So Pulisic would be a suitable replacement for Eden Hazard. If Eden Hazard does depart next summer, there's talks that he could go to Real Madrid next summer because the player Chelsea have been in talks of securing him a new contract. Reportedly, Eden Hazard had confirmed that the contract talks have stopped, and he did admit he loved Real Madrid, Eden Hazard, and he's been in the Premier League since 2012, and he is still one of the best players in the Premier League without a shadow of a doubt. His performances are very, very good for Chelsea. His link-up play is good. You can put him in an attacking mid, you can put him out wide as well, and he still is an essential player for Chelsea. He's got 18 months left on his contract, Eden Hazard, and he's highly experienced of playing in France, with Lille. That's where he began his career, where he was not the youth system with them, and he was in the youth system for a couple of years, and then he grew and developed fantastically well. With Lille, he was there about a good 7-8 years or something, potentially challenging individual awards. He has won a lot of honours as well as Eden Hazard, but reportedly he could go to Real Madrid next summer, reportedly, and same with Alvaro Morata. Jordi Alba reportedly has welcomed him a move to Barcelona. Reportedly he's no longer under Sarri's plans. Reportedly he's not preferred choice now in that starting 11 in Chelsea's team. Morata and Chelsea have only had him just over a year, and Chelsea did pay £60 million for him. He was very, very good in the 2017-18 season. Obviously he's a very, very good player. You can play him up front, you can play him on the wing, and he's very tenacious. He's got a lot of tenacity about his play. He reads his game well, and he's a good finishing asset, is Morata, and he's quite quick on the ball as well. And, when he's on form, he's a very, very good prolific striker, is Alvaro Morata. And obviously, Chelsea bought him, 60 million. He's obviously had experience of playing a lot with Real Madrid in Spain, and had a 2-year spell with Juventus as well, and he has won quite a lot of honours as Alvaro Morata, as we all currently know. But reportedly, Chelsea, it did say Chelsea were considering sanctioning him off on loan in the January transfer window. That were reports coming out for last week. So could his career be over now with Chelsea? I think he's recently just suffered an injury as well as Alvaro Morata. But Arsenal have got a few potential targets as well that I've been, looking up at. Reportedly, Christian Pavon is a potential Arsenal target. Reportedly, they've showed an interest in him. Reportedly, he's only, what is he, 20? Is he 22 years of age? Pavon, I think he's 22 years of age. He plays for Bochia Juniors. He's been playing senior football since 2013 as a player. Bochia Juniors only paid £1 million for him. Reportedly, Arsenal showed an interest in him. Reportedly, he can play on the wing. Supposedly, he's a very, very good, fast player, reportedly. And do you think he'd fit in the Arsenal team very, very well? Arsenal reportedly been in discussions about this, reportedly over around £40 million or something like that. Reportedly, the player has recently signed a new contract till, I think he's till 2022 or something like that. But he has signed a new deal as the player. But reportedly, he has a release clause of just over £40 million, does the player. But reportedly, Arsenal have showed an interest in that player as well. He's called Christian Pavon. He's only age 22. He is Argentinian, as I said. So reportedly, Arsenal have been interested in him as well. But yeah, that's a bit of a transfer rumours to update you with as well, because obviously Ozil's future still uncertain with Arsenal. Could Arsenal still get rid of Ozil? In the January transfer window, obviously he signed a new contract with Arsenal last year, worth £350,000 a week, as we all know. So could potentially Ozil still stay at Arsenal? What do you think? He signed a new contract last year. He said, according to the bookies, Man U actually were favourites to go on and sign him. Man U were linked to him last year. I think a few other teams were linked with him as well. But a few teams expressed an interest in Ozil last year. Obviously, well proven in the Premier League, has a good relationship with Jose Mourinho. So Mourinho's looking to reunite because they both love each other. Because obviously, he's been at Real Madrid in the past, Mourinho, and obviously when Mourinho was at Real Madrid, Ozil was at Real Madrid as well, as we all currently know. But he's been at Schalke in the past, he's been at, Werder Bremen, Real Madrid, and now he's at Arsenal. He's won quite a lot of individual awards, he's won quite a lot of honours, during his playing career as Mesut Ozil. He is now aged 30 years of age, Ozil, so he is aging up now. Potentially if we were to sign him, we would get quite a few years out of him. But obviously, Arsenal would recommend a fee in January, obviously, if they were to sanction the player off, because he hasn't been very consistent under Mourinho. He's failed to adapt himself under Mourinho. At the start of the season, he was very, very good, but he's recently had problems through injury in that, lacking form. But he's back from his injury now, of course. He's Mesut Ozil. He still may stay at Arsenal. I do not know, but there has been rumours that he could potentially leave Arsenal as well, Mesut Ozil. But he has been a potential Manchester United target. You can put him as attacking mid. You can put him on the wing as well. But he has been a potential Manchester United target as well. Ndombele were mentioned in the press the other week. Lyon player. How old is he now? I think he's age 21 or something like that. He's a Lyon player. He's an ex-Mans player as well. Accordingly, he made his France international senior debut this year. Did the player Lyon paid £7.2 million for him, or something for the player. Reportedly, he's a very, very good competitive midfielder. He is young, reportedly. So yeah, reportedly, Lyon would want around £90 million for him anywhere. Reportedly, and there's been a few teams interested in him as well. But there's a few transfer rumours to update you with. But as I've said before, doesn't matter potentially because I can't back Mourinho anymore. But reportedly the board is still backing him. But for me, the players at Manchester United are playing with no confidence. Potentially there's no players in that team who are playing to the potential level apart from De Gea. Okay, Martial, when he was fully fit early on in the season, he was fantastic. Rashford's been good in the last couple of games. His potential level has gone up, and you can see that Rashford and Lingard yesterday were the ones that were trying to create and trying to make something happen at least. So I think Rashford's still a very, very good player, as I said. But there's just nothing in that team, and we have to make big changes in January. There's going to have to be some key decisions made in January, as we all know. And potentially, are the board going to back Jose Mourinho in January, because they didn't back him last summer because he didn't get the potential signings that he wanted to get into the club, as I said. And can we potentially get the manager that suits the club? Can we get the right manager for the next 3 or 4 years that can take us forward and elevate us to that higher level? I do not know, but obviously Mourinho did get given that new contract, but the signings got withdrew from him last summer, which I don't really understand about that. But as I said, the team is just totally shambolic, and something needs addressing in that Manchester United team. And I think we need to get rid of a lot of players who are not playing right for the club. We need to recommend the new manager in. I think Zinedine Zidane would suit Manchester United agenda very, very well. He's highly experienced, being a good manager. Obviously with Real Madrid, he was good as a player as well. He's achieved a lot of honours, during his playing time and during his managerial tenure with Real Madrid. But potentially he's been manager 6 months now, Zinedine Zidane. But there has been talks about him potentially coming in to the club as well. So we will see what happens. There's Pochettino could be the favourite to replace Mourinho. We were linked with him a couple of years ago, as we all know. But as you saw on this channel earlier on about potentially the Champions League draw, Man United have got Paris Saint-Germain. As I said, going to be a very, very difficult game. And we know we've still got a lot of players coming to end the deals. And Chris Smalling confirmed the other day signed a new deal with Man United till 2022. To be quite fair, he's looked good alongside Lindelof, the majority of this season that Jose Mourinho's been selecting at centre-back. But Smalling, for me, there were some fans disappointed, potentially of him signing this new contract. We do have the option to extend it by a further year as well, which could take him till 2023. And, Smalling has been here since 2010. He's made over, 300 appearances in all competitions since he's come to the club. And, he's very, very happy of signing this new contract with Manchester United. But yeah, we do have a lot of problems in that squad. But Mourinho says we are lacking physicality. This is what Jose Mourinho says, and intensity. And he says we just couldn't cope with Liverpool's physicality. And this is what Jose Mourinho had said. And we got played off the park. We got battered. We got played off the park against Valencia on Wednesday night. Last Wednesday night we got played off the park against Valencia. So, and potentially Pogba now could leave the club. He's not going to be a regular starter. So who's going to leave first, Pogba or Jose Mourinho? That is the question. But according to what I've seen from the press, the board are giving, Mourinho is safe for now, and reportedly he's going to be he's going to remain at Manchester United for the immediate future. As I said, reportedly, so the board are potentially still backing him. As I said, Jose Mourinho. But we will see what happens. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.